So this is my 2012 BMW E92 M3, and I've showcased it in a lot of my automotive content in articles online, and I realize I've never actually done a walk around showcasing all of the parts I've put on it and anything I've upgraded. So that's what I'm going to be doing during this video. So let's get to it. First up, with the exterior of my M3, I'm going to start with the most miles per gallon addition to my M3, and it's my Borla Attack exhaust. So here's a sound clip that I'll put in. Now Borla definitely has its roots in American muscle cars and trucks, but after I had a Borla Attack exhaust on my Gen 5 Camaro, I couldn't not get one for my M3, and as you could hear, it sounds really nice. Now the next additions that I put on my M3 come courtesy of the BMW M Performance parts catalog. So the E92 M3 is different from the E90, E93 M3s as it comes with a carbon fiber roof standard, as long as you don't get a sunroof. So I wanted to add a little bit more carbon to this thing, so I added the BMW M Performance spoiler, as well as the official BMW M Performance mirror caps. I didn't really want to stop there, but I didn't want to go too crazy with carbon fiber all over my car, but I did opt to get some carbon fiber splitters on the front. So these are real pre-preg carbon, but they are not the BMW M Performance ones because they're a little pricey, and this is something that will get hit into my driveway. As you can see, right there's already a doink from a rock, but I didn't want to spend too much money. But I am a fan of actually getting a real carbon, not carbon layered over plastic. But so those are the exterior carbon bits I added. I did also I'm a fan of blacked out vehicles. I really hate chrome, so on the stock E92, E90 M3, the kidney grills are like a gloss black on the inside, and on the outside it's a chrome, and I didn't like that, so I opted for these matte black kidney grills from Turner Motorsports. And the same with the hood vents. So the middle piece is stock black, but the outer piece matches your vehicle, and I wanted it to kind of look a little bit more menacing or blacked out on the streets, so I opted for that to be matte black as well. You won't be able to tell in the light, but I've also upgraded the headlight situation on my M3 as well. I upgraded to the Lux Angel Eyes headlight bulbs. To me, it brings the E92, E90, E93 M3s up with the current times and matches the look of the current generation. So my M3 is a competition package car, so it comes with a set of silver 19-inch wheels, but I wanted to continue the blacked out look of my car, so I picked up this authentic set of matte black GTS wheels that come off the M3 GTS. Now they're basically the same exact wheels of the silver ones that come on the competition package car, but they are satin or matte black. And I run Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires on these matte black wheels, so I run 255 35/19 up front and 275 35/19 in the back. So now going through the engine bay, I haven't done much in terms of any performance upgrades to this. It's basically a fully stock engine, but I've changed a little bit of appearance bolts in the engine bay. So all of the strut tower bolts, the bolts on the power steering, the coolant bolts, and the bolts holding the air filter box down, they've all been upgraded to the titanium equivalent. And speaking of that air box, the only performance upgrade that I've put in terms of the engine bay is a Mach Snell oiled air filter. Now they claim a little bit of horsepower, but my butt dyno can't tell the difference. I did notice a little bit more induction sounds, but that obviously gets drowned out pretty much immediately with my Borla exhaust. You obviously can't see it, but I recently did a spark plug change, and I replaced the plugs that were in there with NGK plugs, which are apparently the same as stock, except for they do not feature the BMW logo, but I figured I'd call it out just because it's something that I've put on the car. When I bought this M3, I flushed out the brake fluid because I did not know what was in there, so I replaced it with some StopTech Racing STR 600 brake fluid. So finally, the interior. So I'll start with another one of my favorite things that I've added to this vehicle. It is this BMW M Performance Alcantara steering wheel. It features a blue stripe up top, and then the bottom is flat bottom. And it's got a nice BMW M color stitching featured throughout the inside. Following up with that Alcantara, I also upgraded my emergency brake handle and the boot to be Alcantara, but this is from Kobe wheel. I would have done a Kobe wheel steering wheel because I'm a fan of the quality of this, but I had already got the M Performance steering wheel, so I didn't want to swap that out because it just works, and they do match, so that works together. But this is really great quality, so if you want to save a little money and not buy the BMW M Performance steering wheel, I recommend you getting a Kobe wheel because they do make some great Alcantara quality Alcantara stuff. Taking you back to my steering wheel, you may have noticed some non-OEM stuff. So first up, I'm going to start with the red M button. So this is from IND. I also have a red start-stop button that I swapped out. So I particularly wanted the red M button after seeing the current generation M5's red M buttons, and I thought it was really cool. And I always push it when I start the car, but I always had to kind of look down to make sure I'm pushing the M button and not like one of these buttons. But now it's just M button. You know exactly where it is. You push it. But I just I basically wanted to mimic the look of the current gen, and I know the new M3 and M4 that's coming out is also going to have like the fighter jet missile launch button, red M buttons. So that's basically what I'm mimicking with this. So also on the steering wheel, I have these Autotrader billet aluminum DC T-paddles. So they are much longer than what you get stock. So if I were to give you an estimate, I think the stock ones probably end where the interior of this is cut out, but they're a little fatter, and down low, it's like when I'm driving with these paddles, I can easily, flick the paddle from underneath, where you couldn't really do that unless you were higher up the steering wheel with the stock paddles. But this is one of the upgrades where when I've shown my friends, they pretty much said a longer paddle like this should have come with the car. One of my more recent mods to this car has been these BMW M Performance pedals. I think they really look good compared to just the regular old black pedals that you get stock. And I also run, they're really dirty WeatherTech floor mats on both sides. I don't run them in the back because nobody really drives in the back. So being car enthusiasts, we're really not done modifying our cars, are we? After this video comes out, sometime after, I don't know when, I'm potentially going to be doing some other upgrades. I'm potentially looking at putting a big brake kit on this vehicle. The brakes are really shortcoming in terms of any sort of performance track use. I mean, they're like single piston all four corners. I mean, they're good for what they are on the street. Don't get me wrong. I have no reason to complain about the brakes, but I just know that if I was going to do any serious driving with it, it would be a limitation of the vehicle. So I definitely would want to pick up something. Another thing is potentially some form of race seat. The seats hug you, but I think many E90 owners will agree. You kind of sit kind of tall, and I'm already a tall person, and for being tall, I really like sitting low in vehicles, and as low as I can get the M3 seats, it's just, I feel like I would want to be lower, and I think a race seat, maybe like a Recaro seat would accomplish what I want. But other than that, I think I've pretty much put every part that I want on this car other than the brakes and the seats. Is there any parts that you like that I put on the car? Is there parts you think I should have gotten an alternative? Let me know in comments. I always like knowing what other parts there are out there for my car. And if you're a E92, E90, E93, or just M3 owner of any generation, drop a comment. I'd love to talk with you. Thanks for watching.